What's up, everybody? Dan here with Go Beyond the Hustle. I'm here with Chris Zimmerman with Master Your Craft. Hey, and what Penguin, right? Penguin Roofing?
That's right. If you search Penguin Roofing, hopefully it comes up. But yes, at your service roofing, Cincinnati.
At your service, man. I'll tell you what, they got the best brand in the business with the Penguin. I got the hat. It's awesome. But anyway, we're sitting down here. We just kind of chit-chatting. We just had a little conversation off to the side here. And I wanted to put this on for everybody on YouTube and everybody on the social media here, because this is a question that a lot of people ask. And there's so many different answers and so many different variances. And I wanted to talk to one of the legends about this, because I'll tell you what, this is a topic that you guys should really think about. The question, Chris, that I'm going to ask you is, what do you think? Do you think it's harder to sell right now as a salesman in today's world, or do you think it's harder to sell 20 years ago?
That's a really, really good question. So I'm going to, unfortunately, play both sides of that coin, I think.
All right.
I think for me, it was probably easier. In a lot of ways, it was easier before, in the past. There's so much clutter right now. There's so much noise telling you to do this and all this different systems and all these programs and all this technology that I think we get a little lost in the weeds. And so back when you and I were doing this back in the day, it was pretty simple, man. Go knock doors, go talk to people, have conversations, and just close. And it really, I think, was a lot simpler. Now, on the other side of that coin, you and I didn't have guys like you and I and CNAC and all these other guys to train. We had to build our own book, right? We had to just try and fail and learn and grow and adapt. And so in a lot of ways, these new guys, the amount of information that they have available to them is going to really, really help them. And we didn't have that stuff growing up, right? When we were coming up, we had nothing as far as training goes. And so I think the real key for salespeople today is to understand the good content and the bad content. And that's not easy to tell the difference between the
100%.
two. But once you understand the good, lock into those people and follow that training. Whoever it is, I don't care who it is, right? Like different strokes for different folks, whoever. But block out the noise, find a couple of people that you believe in, that you trust, and listen and do everything that they tell you to do, and you're going to do real well.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at too. Is you've been to a lot of these conferences. You know a lot of the people at the top as far as sales gurus, right? Mm-hmm. And you hear all the smoke and all this stuff from these people, and they haven't sold anything in 15, 20 years, right? And they're trying to tell you how to be the best salespeople in the world. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And I'm a firm believer in myself, yourself, John, people like that, Deshaun. Follow those people that have done it. Follow those people that are still doing it.
Amen.
And that's what people don't understand is guys like ourselves, when we're not here, we're still back selling stuff
Boots on the ground, actually doing it. That's
so to answer the question too, as far as my personal belief is I feel it's a lot easier to sell now than it was back when I first started. Because when I first started, we didn't know where the storm. We actually had to storm chase.
Yes.
Because there wasn't something to tell us, hey, this inch hail is going to get.
I didn't get alerts
approved
on my phone telling me exactly where to go. Yeah,
right.
But neither did my competition, and so you and I were a little sharper than the average bear.
We're the 1%,
and so we had advantages, and all this technology and stuff starts to level the playing field. AI,
true.
To be real honest, one of the reasons I don't like AI is it's taking away my competitive advantage. If I'm a little bit sharper and I know things and I have better memory and recall, that's an advantage over competition.
Yeah.
And now this AI comes along, and one of my skills is communication. So I can write a really nice email, or I can communicate things properly. Now, anybody can go to ChatGPT or whatever it is, give it a couple prompts, and write an email that's on par with mine. So I lose that competitive advantage, which is okay. Like, I want people to succeed. A rising tide raises all ships. I got to go sharpen my tools and find other competitive advantages. So emotionally, I'm a little pissed off about it. I don't like it, but it's going to make me better anyway, because I got to compete now with AI.
Well, I think a lot of your and my competitive advantage, to be straight up honest with you, is the fact that we've got the work ethic to do it. 100%. And we're willing to think outside the box, where a lot of people are straight right down, hey, this is the path, this is what I have to follow, this is what I have to do, instead of thinking outside the box and set themselves apart from others.
So I've said this for 10, 15 years. Doing sales in the roofing industry, you only need two things. And you really only need one of those. If you have one of them, you'll make 80 to 120 grand. If you have both of them, you're going to make 200 grand plus. And that is your natural sales ability. Can you communicate? Are you social and outgoing? Can you make connections? Like, how good are you naturally? Yeah. And then hustle and grind. Yep. And you only need one of those to make decent money. If you have both, you're going to do great.
That's 100%. When I started 20 plus years ago, and it's going to be funny because when I was first trained in, they would literally tell me a monkey could do this.
Yeah.
Right? selling insurance jobs. How easy selling insurance
And
jobs?
back then,
It was,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if you go to a homeowner back then, 20 years ago, and said, hey, for your $100 deductible or $50 deductible or $250 deductible, you're going to get a brand new roof or siding or whatever
That's
on your house, who wouldn't jump at it, right?
That's right.
Now we've got the competition level that's raised so high. And that's why I said it's easier now, because for me, the technology, everything is given to you.
Yeah,
Now it's just a matter of how good are you at sales.
that's right.
And back then, it wasn't a matter of that. You had to convince people that this shit wasn't a scam.
That was the biggest objection that you had to overcome.
Yeah.
That this is not a scam. And I used to tell guys, like, what salesperson wouldn't kill for the biggest hurdle is this is too good to be true.
That was our biggest objection.
That was crazy.
When I had to sit down with a little old lady and explain to her that, hey, your $20,000 project is only going to cost you $50.
This is not a scam. This is not fraud. This is how it works, right?
And then you explain them, and then when it actually comes to and it comes through, that's how the process was. Back then, I never had homeowners that would just take their money and run, because they were like, this was the best thing since sliced bread.
right.
They're like, oh my God, I'm going to revamp my entire house for $100.
That's right.
And so that's why I think, why I tell people all the time, it was harder for me back then because we had to find it. And then once we found the hail, which wasn't always easy, then we had to convince the people.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we had to convince the people, then, even adjusters, how many times did you sit at a kitchen table with a piece of notebook paper across from an insurance adjuster and agree upon a price per square right there across the table on a piece of yellow notebook paper?
Now, there's another narrative that I hear in the industry all the time, I'm sure you do too, that everything's oversaturated, or that so many people are doing things so poorly, it lowers the reputation of the industry and it makes it harder for us to the good guys out there.
Yeah.
And I want to dispel that real quick.
Oh, yeah.
That is a competitive advantage. That is a benefit. That is a great thing. The lower the bar is in the industry, the better you and I look, because we're not those guys. And the more saturated it is, they're all doing the same thing.
Yep.
It's so easy to stand out by doing something different.
Well, I think that's why we do it. The 1% guys that are in that top echelon, when you have a saturated, where their homeowners had 15 people knocking their door, the first words that come out of my mouth are, here's why I'm different.
Yeah.
And once you explain that and you can get that out to the homeowner, it's an easy game. And the problem we have is we keep hiring these people, but we're not training their personal ability. We're training them the systems of this is what you need to do, and not training them how to do it.
Well, and I think a problem that guys like you and I have are, if we are that 1%, if we are that really good, I know I spent a lot of time assuming that I wasn't that good. And so when I would bring people on, I would assume that they would be able to pick this stuff up like I would, or I could give them freedom. And what I found over a lot of trial and error is most of the guys in the industry and gals need that system, because they really can't think outside of the box. They don't have that critical thinking.
I agree.
This society that we have right now, they don't teach critical thinking. It's a lost art.
100%.
And so if they're not capable of critical thinking, then a system has to be kind of provided for them, the guidelines at least, what I call the guardrails, right? You can operate anywhere you want between these two guardrails. Anywhere in here is fine. As soon as you get out of the guardrails, that's not going to be okay.
I think a lot of that has to do with the way the social community is right now with instant gratification.
Yes.
Newer reps, when you bring newer reps into an industry or into your company, they're looking for that instant gratification within 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They're already looking for, so-called the Twinkie at the other end, or however you want to call it. They're already ready to go. And it's like, listen, you got to put the time and sweat and the blood, sweat, and tears into doing this before that comes. And that's the difference. And that's why when I do my trainings, that's why I tell all the people that you have to install that new sales rep that this isn't your job, this is your career.
Love it.
And if you treat this as your job, your mindset's never going to get to that career mode.
Yeah.
And if you treat this as your career, then the money's going to follow as long as you invest in time in yourself.
I'm just now realizing I may have stolen that from you. But I do that in one of my classes. So I'm on the Owens Corning University, and I travel the country doing classes and seminars. I have 5 different classes that I offer for Owens Corning, and whichever market I'm in, they pick the one I want. And one of them, which I call Beyond the Storm, is how to transition a storm focused company into retail quickly and effectively. Perfect. And I start with mindsets, and then I hear Chuck Toki talking about mindset. And I'm like, all right, well, I must be on the right page if I'm talking about the same things as you and Toki. But one of those mindsets is that, like you said, if you treat this as a job, you're going to make some money for 2-3 years, and then you're going to wash out and move on. And that's okay. Yeah. Just know that that's where you're heading. If you treat this as a career, right, now you're going to start making really good money, and you can go real far and have a long, healthy career.
Well, and treating it as a career, now you've shifted their mindset that now you're not
Long-term.
you're now not playing the short game.
Now
you're
I want to
playing the
focus
long
on
game.
relationships, because those aren't going to pay off today. They're going to pay off down the road.
And that's what people ask. That's the one thing that people ask me all the time. Man, how did you do 18? How did you do 18?
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time, listen, I
didn't knock doors enough to get 18.
No.
Like, I knocked doors, but knocking doors isn't going to get you to 18.
You can't.
Right.
The way to get to 18.5 million, 19 million in a year is you have to plant the long game. You have to plant that seed 10, 12,
That's
13
right.
years ago.
Yes.
So when it does happen, the stuff's just going to roll down the hill for you.
And that short-term mindset is a real killer, but it's also the ownership that has it too. They might be worse than the salespeople, to be quite honest.
Especially nowadays.
That's right. And so I spend a lot of time with owners, but I spend a lot of time with salespeople as well. And that's a real problem that owners, it's very short-term mindset. Every dollar that they're spending, that's coming out of their pocket. Kevin O'Leary, the Shark Tank guy.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of his. I don't dislike him, but I'm not like a follower of his. But he mentioned, like, I use my dollars; they're like soldiers, and I send them out to capture other ones and bring back more. And so that's kind of, if you're looking at the company's money like it's my money as the owner, that's you go into that scared money don't make money, right? But as soon as I look at myself as I am a steward over this money, and this money is here to grow the business and perform, now when I go to buy that new technology, I'm not like, man, I don't know, $5,000 out of my bank account. Man, I don't know. The wife wants to go on a trip. It's like, no, you got to keep those things completely separate, because it's a completely different mindset on how 100%. You spend personal versus how you spend on business.
100%. Well, hey, everybody, I appreciate Chris jumping on. Hey, if you're interested in us doing a class on this year in one of these months about is it more difficult now or 20 years ago to sell, shoot me up. Let me know on here. I'll get Chris on. We'll talk about this on a class. It'll be a good discussion.
I'm always down to talk with you, buddy.
Hey, man, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much.